So, this video has been a weird one, to say the least. It's gone through about 3 different versions at this point, one of which was fully written up as a script, which I've literally never done before and never will be doing again, as the subject of the video has, well, changed about as much as the video itself, to be honest. When Flans, Tekken More, FTAM, whatever you want to call it, came back for this reset, I was ecstatic. We've been waiting for this pack for 2, maybe even 3 years by this point. And to see a return to form classic Minecraft Factions mod pack finally come back, I was over the moon. I was ready. I was fully prepared to grind till 4 in the morning to shit out another base in our 5-year history of playing this pack. And in fact, I did. This video was originally going to be a documentation of that process, of those first few days of trying to desperately figure out how this pack was going to play. However, every time I sat down to finish this, I would always be like, oh, I need to get a little bit more from in-game, or oh, maybe I should raid a base first, or oh, I definitely have to document the PvP, that's what makes this pack so unique. But with every joke I wrote in, with every narration of some 3-year-old event that had occurred, it just felt like something else was missing. And it finally hit me. I wasn't trying to document this reset, I was trying to document the entirety of our modded factions experience. You see, my group has played about 4 or 5 different mod packs by this point, and we've been doing this since we were in 5th grade. We are going into college this year. To say it's been a long time would be an understatement, but at the same time, it is impossible to include Miners League, B-Team, Tekkit, FTAM, Crazycraft, and even Pixelmon, and this isn't even beginning to mention all the custom packs, all the vanilla servers, whatever we have done over our time. And I think what I realized is that as I was going into college, I was going back over these things. I was remembering everything we had done. So what is this video then? What has this become? To be honest, I don't even know at this point. I don't know. I'm just literally sitting here in Audacity, speaking into thin f***ing air with nobody home. I probably look like a psychopath right now. But what I do know is that this video is at bare minimum an FTAM retrospective, going back over the past 5 years that we have been a part of this community since FTAM Gen 3, and talking about what this generation of the pack has done right, what it's done wrong, and what I'm hoping to see in the coming resets. The admins are back, the owners are back, OG players have taken over the network and fully intend on continuing this. So here it goes. This is the FTAM video talking about what a modded faction server looks like in 2023. Without further ado, here's my first day on the server.
Have you seriously not filled it up enough for it to last? Alright, Aaron, we are firing this off in 5, 4,
you thought I meant my first
3,
base this reset.
2.
No. This is my first day on the FTAM server. Well, mostly.
God.
My first day on the server was in the end of FTAM 2. This is FTAM 3, our first real attempt at playing through the server. We really didn't understand factions at this point. We had just gone off the heels of our golden era in B-Team, where we got raided on a daily basis and only found it fun because we had no idea what we were doing. We started this pack actually thinking it was an SMP. We built this on a completely open, uncovered, and unclaimed island in the middle of the ocean. This reset, I really got to learn how much I enjoyed playing factions, because by the end, we really did figure out how to play. We were hiding our bases in mountains, we built reactors, whatever. And while we still may not have been all that good, understood automation, or really participated in the server publicly at all, we were a part of it. We all worked together. We all managed to grow our base beyond what it initially was. And by the end, I can confidently say we all genuinely enjoyed our time. Sure, this may not be the FTAM I play today, where we have perfectly optimized farms, automated ME systems, and enough generated power to literally run a small city. But it was the new player's experience, the experience of a middle schooler who really didn't know what they were doing. This is a theme we're definitely going to come back to later in the video. But for now, I'm going to move you on to the next reset. I once had a friend tell me, don't think, just do. Is that ripped straight from the latest Top Gun movie? Yes. Do I care? No, not at all. I've been sitting on this FTAM 5 section for literally the past week and a half. I've been thinking I need more assets. I've been reaching out to the owner, trying to see if maybe they had the old map or the old PvP, but no, it doesn't exist, and I don't even need it. Trust me. Put it bluntly, FTAM 5 was everything to my faction. This is the reset we by far played the most of. easily have the most memories of. My middle school quote, I kid you not, is based on FTAM Generation 5. You know what? Here it is. Look, here's a picture right here. This took me way too long to scan in. Do I care? No, not at all. Because you really need to just understand how much weight FTAM 5 held to us. Did I skip over 4 to talk about 5? Yes. Why? Because 4 was boring and only like 2 of us played. I was not even one of them. But FTAM 5 is where my current faction partner, Bacon, came into play and really began to whip us into shape, for lack of better words. The reset, I would say, we really actually became a part of the community. We began to go to PvP events, we began to actually participate in PvP, and we even put our time into learning how both the economy and the industrial system of the game actually worked. I will never forget the night where Bacon and I were up at 3:30 in the morning, and I was in the back corner behind our ME system, and I realized, holy crap, this thing has auto-crafting. Any of the long-term FTAM players, or anybody who's used applied energetics at all, that is going to be the stupidest sounding statement you have ever heard. Because this is like a key part of the mod. You don't play applied energetics without the auto-crafting. It's just basically a glorified iron chest at that point. We were genuinely celebrating because we've been spending all of this time handcrafting the coins for the economy by hand. To put that into perspective, each coin took several separate recipes, each recipe of which took several other recipes. It exponentially grew. That's what made the economy difficult. And doing all of this by hand would take us hours for maybe a couple $1,000. How uselessly little of money that was into perspective. The day after we set up auto-crafting in potentially the most rudimentary form you possibly could, with like a coprocessor and storage, we literally sextupled our money. Our income increased dramatically, all because of one item. And that was the best part about FTAM 5, is we could build one thing that we had no idea existed, and then all of a sudden our lives become 10 times easier, the server gets 30 times more interesting, and there's so much more for us to explore and try to understand how it works. I consider this the golden age of FTAM, not because we were the best faction, not because we were the richest, not even because we were all that good in PvP, but because we were learning, because it was the chance for us to experiment. And it wasn't experimenting with how to perfectly optimize things, it was experimenting with how to get things to work at all. And it is 3:30 at night, and you are exhausted and barely able to think straight. There is nothing more exciting than seeing a singularity get shit out of 4 burritos and an iron coin. To be honest, I can think of a lot of middle schoolers that may disagree with that, but regardless, I cannot deny how unique of an experience FTAM 5 was at this point. There is no other mod pack quite like it. Our old B-Team days were different. Miners League was just more of an SMP than this. There was no stakes, there was no need to learn and push the envelope. In FTAM, you didn't learn the mods because, ooh, pretty lights, or oh hey, maybe I can fly. No, you learned them out of necessity. That added a very different level of complexity to the pack, one that I don't think any other mod pack has ever really replicated. I'm going to group FTAM 6 and 7 together here because the lessons that we learned from both were honestly very similar. This reset marked the beginning of our faction being called the Doges, and as cringy as the name as that may be, we've stuck with it since. We also began to gain a bit more of a reputation on the server. People were actually taking us seriously. We were finally climbing the battle top, we were actually competent in PvP, and we began to even get some allies. For the first time ever, we were able to win Capture the Flag events. We were able to get stuff from envoys and not just be cannon fodder for the higher level factions. We also expanded our auto-crafting knowledge through the help of Rafir, an old ally whose faction had stopped playing, who joined in our faction for this reset. This was the first person who was not a friend of ours to actually join and help us. This is the reset we found ourselves feeling like we understood everything, but that also came at a cost. If you remember what I said earlier, the most fun part of FTAM 5 to us was the fact that we didn't know what was going on. And that confusion, that lack of understanding was gone this reset. We had to find a different way to have fun. Initially, PvP, strategy, designing bases, that filled that itch for a while. But by the time FTAM 7 hit, this was gone. And I don't think we are alone in this either. When I went back through the Discord looking for images and screenshots for this video, the sentiment was very similar. FTAM 7 had died far quicker than any reset prior. Overall, I would call these resets the start of a term I'm going to coin as FTAM fatigue. And I think it's something that plagues a lot of modded servers and just faction servers in general. When the formula doesn't change, yes, your old players are happy that they get to play the same game, but they can only play the same game so many times. This is the issue that FTAM has run into since its inception, is keeping a balance of its original gameplay with the need to keep things feeling fresh. I know. You're looking at the time remaining and realizing that I still have 4.5 years to cover here. And unfortunately, that's because this video is going to get split up. When I started all of this for a server competition months ago, I didn't fully realize what I was actually getting myself into. And 247 images and 100 gigabytes of unused footage later, spanning almost 6 full years of history and content, I need to just get this video out. The pacing I initially set for it was unrealistic, and I underestimated just how much research would actually go into all of this. Combing through years worth of random garbage on my hard drive and Discord messages just to get basic timeline information and fragmented screenshots just to fill the dead space in this video. I have a lot more to go, but I'm still looking forward to it, and in the interest of posting more than twice this year, I felt as though I had to just finish this video up. I have other videos that will likely come out before part 2, specifically finally returning to the Woohoo Island project, but it genuinely comes down to how well this video does. The algorithm overlords always love interaction, so if you enjoyed and want to see more, consider my generically desperate pleas for a like. And if you're feeling especially motivated, comment and tell me how broken my mic was for half of this mess. Regardless, if you made it this far, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching.